I had an unexpected morning off, and I was sitting here next to the archives having breakfast, so I decided, you know what, let's go check out the Newseum, since I've never been there, which is kind of funny because I talk about it every single day as I drive by, as it's right on my main tour route between the Capitol and the White House on Pennsylvania Avenue, at the corner of 6th and Penn, actually. And, well, my background's in journalism, so I'm pretty excited actually to see the museum that is dedicated to news and journalism. This is actually the newest museum in the city as of right now, as we're building another one to open on September 24th of this year. It's actually the second most visited museum in the city as well, second only to the Air and Space Museum. It's a background between news and journalism. It has the First Amendment printed right out front, and front page newspapers change out daily to show the news from around the world. And the last newspaper is always a Canadian paper, since right next door is the Canadian Embassy, the only embassy located between the Capitol and the White House. Now there is an entry fee for this, about $22 for adults, but they do offer AAA discounts and senior discounts, things of that sort. But I've heard it's worth every penny, and they give you a 2-day ticket to make sure you have plenty of time to enjoy it. I'm not sure how much video I'll be able to take inside, but I do know going into it, let's get a little bit of, I guess, a pre-entry review of what I've expected. I hear there's a piece of the Berlin Wall inside, as well as some interactive exhibits where you can make your own news broadcasts, and currently a Pulitzer Prize, the Pulitzer exhibit, showing a lot of Pulitzer Prize winning photographs, and more recently the FBI museum was added to this museum since you can no longer tour the J. Edgar Hoover building after 2001. And so that's kind of what I'm expecting to see. Who knows beyond that? So let's give it a go and see how much video I can get while I'm in there. So this is the largest section of the Berlin Wall on display outside of Germany. This is the West German side, where you'll find a lot of graffiti and artwork, very common for the Berlin Wall. Although if you go over to the east side, it's quite a bit different. Now this side of the wall might have been about a mile away from the other side of the barrier, and you'll have these watchtowers throughout. And there are no stairs in this watchtower, actually just ladders. Primarily because it was quicker and easier to construct these if you did not use stairs, because you can just stack them. Although I guess it could be said you can remove the ladders, make it more secure. But I think this is primarily done just for the ease of manufacturing, because these are all pretty much identical parts, just stacked upside down on top of each other. And this right here is a car that was found in the garage at Dulles Airport here in the DC area, and it carried 2 of the hijackers that took Flight 77. And around here we have many other items pertaining to 9/11, including pieces of the jets were found at Ground Zero. So for all you that keep saying there's no pieces of the planes, well, there they are, right there. And here's something that hit a little terror here in DC, of course, other than 9/11. These are the DC snipers, or the Beltway snipers, may call them, and this is actually their gun. We have the first FBI top 10 most wanted list, where the News, a local Washington, D.C. news daily paper, requested a list of the worst people that the FBI wanted. They gave them this, and it worked out so well, raising their readership and to help get these guys caught, that this started the FBI wanted list, which was kept like this up until 1991. Someone points out some irony of this right here. This is a video phone. If you look to the left there, it looks like a little iPhone right there. And, well, talking about how that helped them report news on the field in easier, simpler, better ways. Well, this right here is being shot by something very similar. I'm shooting this entire thing on an iPhone 6. And then things get a little bit more somber. A car blown up of TNT trying to kill the journalist inside who was investigating the mob, who did pass 17 days later. A map showing how free or not free the news is around the world. And a truck used by time photographers in Yugoslavia during the fighting in the 1990s, riddled with shrapnel and bullet holes. They called it the shrapnel magnet. It even has a giant hole in the front window where they never really got through it, but he was shot with a sniper rifle. So this is the Journalist Memorial. These are basically my fallen brothers. These are all the men and women who died reporting the news so that you can be informed and to make the world a better place, a more well-informed, educated place. And these are actually not all of those that were killed. They said they originally started with the names of everybody they could find that was killed reporting the news, but realized that they would never have enough room for all those. So now they choose a few highlighted names to represent all the journalists that were lost doing their job. Keep in mind, this is a dangerous job, and a lot of people forget about it. These are men and women who are standing in the middle of shootouts, in the middle of dangerous situations, without the protection of a gun or a flak jacket. I've done it myself. I stood in the middle of police shootouts where I'm the one in the middle, and I have no flak jacket, no protection, nothing but a telephone pole behind me to kind of hide behind. And that's why they have this quote here. It's been like around here so I can read it. It says, "We pay tribute to the reporter who is willing to stand when others will run, who will press on with questions when others have been called into silence." So yeah, this is the price that people have paid to bring you information and to keep you informed. And something that should be remembered. There are people out there that are willing to give their lives just to show you what's going on in this world. Like this man, Bill Biggert. These are his cameras and equipment recovered from the wreckage at the World Trade Center in 9/11. As others were running away from the disaster, he was running into it and ended up costing him his life. And these are the last images recovered from his camera. Many of them you may actually recognize. And this room down here is News History. It actually has front page newspapers from throughout history, and they're all originals. There's actually no photography allowed inside there, so I'm going to respect that and not actually take a camera into that area. But very cool. We're talking about original newspapers, including the original one where it said that Dewey wins over Truman, and when we dropped the atomic bomb in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. All these things are in there all the way back to actually a couple hundred years. You can hear people doing a news broadcast behind me. So they have these areas where you can be part of the news. But the funny thing is, I can actually step about a block from here and be in front of this background. But they made this for shorter people. Not really good for me. Sporting my 3 glasses for my 4D movie. And it's about 3 journalists throughout history that have changed the way news is reported, is what I'm being told. A little 15-minute movie runs every 30 minutes. Yeah. Well, there you go. So I have my ticket, see valid for an extra day there, so I can always come back. It's actually quite a bit larger than I was expecting. Apparently 250,000 square feet. That's 5 times the size of the White House. And 7 floors, included a food court by Wolfgang Puck, included a 9/11 exhibit, which even had, well, actually 2 9/11 exhibits in a way. One inside the FBI area where they were talking about terrorism and how the FBI investigates it. And another one that actually had a piece of the top of the tower from the World Trade Center that's here on display at the moment, and even a piece of the Pentagon. And a piece of the Berlin Wall and one of the watchtowers from Berlin. The Pulitzer Prize winning photos was quite a wonderful thing to see, and I wasn't expecting, didn't even know about something that's kind of personal to me. They actually had names of all of the, or a memorial to all the journalists who were lost reporting the news. Looks like I have my ride here.